Today's list is the worst finding out someone is dead moment in a horror movie. I didn't really know what else to call this. Examples of the worst times in a horror movie that a character finds out another character is dead and either didn't know that anyone was dead, didn't know there was any danger, or just didn't know that they specifically were dead and they find out in an awful, awful way. For the first one, I'm just gonna do the one that I think is probably in most people's head, which is Annie finding Charlie in Hereditary. Peter, I get it. You're 17 years old. You're also traumatized by what happened. But respectfully, what the fuck? You never heard of a heads up? No pun intended? Couldn't have told your mom, hey mom, something in that car you're not going to want to see. I would just call the cops. Anything to save her the trauma of what she had to find. The worst is, I mean, obviously the way that scene is shot is stunning and so upsetting, but the way that you just hear Annie thinking she's about to have another regular ass day and she's just yelling to her husband like, I'm going to the store. No, you're not. I don't know if there is a great way to find out what happened, but if there is a way, it's not that. Next, we've got Host from 2020, which is an unbelievable movie. But we have the scene where Radina's boyfriend, Alan, falls from the ceiling. Obviously terrifying, and I do love that when you watch the movie again, you can see the little hints that we see. Like, we can actually see his feet hanging when she walks through the apartment at one point earlier. We just don't know. We think that he stormed off because they got into a fight, which they did. And then what an entrance he makes. It's also extra funny because obviously the fight that they got into was her asking him to not draw so much attention to himself like he was earlier, chopping vegetables. So then you know the ghost was like, oh, I'm going to draw attention. Also, the behind the scenes for that are dope if you watch how they did it, because they were all quarantined and they're actually stunt performers, that couple. So they actually did that and it looks awesome. This next one is not one that we see on camera. We just hear about it over like a text across the screen, and then we hear about it in a sequel. But Allie, the daughter from Paranormal Activity 2, who was away on a school trip when the final events of the movie take place, and she had to obviously come home and find all of that. Not only did her aunt, kill her stepmom and her dad, and her real mom is already dead prior to the movie, as we know, but also stole her little brother. Not a great way to come home, to say the least. Maddie finding Sarah's body in Hush. This one's a bummer for a lot of reasons, but I mean, obviously Maddie at the time knew that something was going on. She had already been attacked by this guy, but she did not know that Sarah was in the mix at all. She didn't know that, she feasibly thought that Sarah got home okay, and then all of this happened. And also it's especially sad because Sarah was, of course, right there trying to get Maddie's attention and couldn't because Maddie can't hear. And then obviously the way that the killer uses Sarah's body to knock on the window and just totally taunt Maddie. And then that's the first time that Maddie even finds out that her friend was even involved in this and is also dead is tough to watch. And lastly, the one that made me make this list in the first place, which is the Texas Chainsaw 03 remake. It is Erin finding out that Kemper is dead. The way that she finds out that Kemper is dead is that the first time she sees Leatherface, he is wearing Kemper's face. It's no secret that when I'm referring to Texas Chainsaw, unless I specify the original, I'm talking about the 03 remake. The Texas Chainsaw 1974 original is obviously unbelievable and deserves all the praise in the world, but you cannot keep me from the 03 remake. You can pry the 03 remake from my cold, dead hands. I think it is the perfect example of why there are plenty of horror remakes. I know it's like a remake, a sequel, a requel, whatever. I think there are plenty of horror remakes, sequels, requels that are better than or as good as the original. I think that is one of them. You can fight me in the comments, I don't care. I've always thought that Erin finding him like that is the saddest part. She didn't know that there was a killer at all out here, let alone to find out that there is a killer, be in such shock already by what you're seeing, this huge dude with a chainsaw, and then realize that he is wearing your boyfriend's face. That one to me is the ultimate example of what a way to find out. Yikes. If you're watching this and you are part of the sick fuck team that made any of these or wrote any of these, thank you. I love you. Keep up the good work.